wanna do now is making it last. Mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, friends forever, strengthening the ties that keep us together. Mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, friends forever, strengthening the ties that keep us together.
It's time for another conversation. How can we have better relationships with people from different denominations? This is Making It Last podcast, and I'm your host, Noreen Daly. And with me this time around, we have Janelle Haye, former Pentecostal and a current Seventh-day Adventist. And we have Danever Scott, a minister from the Church of God denomination. Welcome.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Let's have the lady weigh in on this first. How do you think we can have better relationships with people from different denominations?
Well, I think first we need to understand that we're all different. And even though religion and different denominations seem to create such a heavy divide for us, we all have a common ground that we can find. So while I might be of a certain denomination and you might be of another, there are certain things that we have in common that we can bond.
It's easier said than done, but we'll get into that shortly. Let me just have Danever weigh in on this.
Well, my bit on the matter is, first of all, we got to understand one of the basic expectation of God, where us humans are concerned, and it is surrounded in love. And when you look at the characteristics of love, you will see that the characteristics of love speaks to everything that is life-giving and uplifting and motivating, and being there for a brother or sister, whether you know them or not, whether they are doing something you want them to do in your favor or not. So it's a unconditional type of love life we're talking about that would then naturally, foster definitely great relationship, because love covers every fault, everything, a multitude of things.
All right, we're going to get back to it, but let's just go back to what Janelle said. Janelle, you said, yes, have an acknowledgement that we're all different and we must find a common ground. But somebody's listening saying, yeah, that's easier said than done. Give me something practical that somebody can say, yes, I understand specifically what she's telling me.
Well, having had or still have friends that are from different denominations, we hardly see where our denomination divides us, because let's say I have a friend and we both love flowers. That's our common ground. Okay. And we consent that God created these flowers, because even if it is that we are from different denominations, we still attribute the same characteristics to God. He's loving, he's kind, he created all things. So when we as friends come together and we're talking about flowers, we forget that I'm Seventh-day Adventist and you're JW. Okay. We're just thinking about the fact that God made these flowers and we both love these flowers. So we're going to talk about these flowers because God created them and we love them.
Okay. You agree with that, Danever, that we should really try to find a common ground, things that should basically allow us to be closer rather than divide us?
Definitely. That's the love language.
Nice segue into what you were saying, the whole idea of showing love.
Right.
How then do you show love to some people that always find a way to allow religion to, or the fact that we worship on different days, we to divide us and we focus so much on the things that we don't agree on.
Right.
How then do you show love to somebody who almost feels sometimes like we're attacking each other?
Understandable. The truth about it is there is an unconditional mindset that we have to will ourselves to have. So, and that mindset is simply do your part. What is your responsibility as an individual, as a human? And once you understand your responsibility, which is what? To serve one another in love, in giving life and supporting, in any way or form or context that will help a person to be a better person. You understand what I'm saying? And that is a very wide topic that we can exhaust now. But however, once we can help ourselves in our hearts and minds to conquer on our responsibility, and that I should not allow you, irrespective of your denomination or what is different about you, to interfere with my responsibility to love you.
Okay.
And to be there for you.
Okay.
So it is you who has to, will yourself, open up your mind. And I use that word will specifically because will simply is you, commanding yourself somewhat to believe or to go along a certain path.
Okay.
Because it takes strength to go, in the opposite of what the flesh would want. Because the flesh is selfish and self-centered. And if you don't please me, I'm turned off from you. That's the language of the flesh. But love is opposite of the manifestation of the flesh.
Janelle?
Yeah, because even if it is not our denominations, because there are always going to be some things about our friends that we particularly don't really like, but there is that one thing that brought us together in the first place. And I believe that our friends would have similar characteristics as us because, as they say, birds of a feather flock together. So while you are my friend, I wouldn't think that something, even though it's significant to me and significant to you, something that we hold as passionate would divide us because those things are those things that draw us close together in the first place. And sometimes when we're having discussions about different denominations with our friends, we don't only get to understand their denomination, but we get to understand what makes them them. And we get a better appreciation of who they are. So I think that while our similarities bring us together, we shouldn't let the differences that make us individual divide us.
Okay.
And also, just to touch on that too, one of the benefits of really willing yourself to understand true love that Christ manifests to us, which was not based on us pleasing him, but was solely based on him genuinely loving us irrespective of whether we please him or not.
Okay.
And the benefits of that, as from a human perspective, where we're fulfilling that is concerned, is that we will then be able to see through the lens of the Spirit in a way that we would not see when we were looking through the lens of the flesh.
Okay.
Because the love language is a language of the Spirit, right? And anything that is selfish, self-centered, it's a language of the flesh. And so looking through the lens of love, you automatically will see what the Spirit of God wants you to see, that this person is not who you think they are. And as a result, you will be able to be connected in ways that you never imagined, where you become heightened in knowledge and a lot of awareness that just blows your mind.
Yeah.
Which then influence, of course, unbelievably good relationships.
Yeah.
A stronger bond.
Yes, definitely a stronger bond. So we've touched on the fact that we are all different. We should find a common ground. We should will ourselves to have that mindset of love and just be open to showing love. Anything else you want to share regarding how we can have better relationships with people from different denominations, Janelle or Danever?
Well, one thing that I think we need to understand is that when we look at different persons from different denominations and consider them as friends, not only are we getting a different perspective on life from different persons, but we're learning to respect people in general. Because me having a different faith from you and me accepting you as my friend despite that, and showing you respect despite your denomination differing from mine, is something that is really significant. So not only are you able to respect someone in this aspect of their life, but you are able to respect someone in the different areas of their life. Because remember that denomination forms a very strong part of a human being. So if it is that I respect that strong part of you, it doesn't prevent me from respecting the different aspects of what makes you you. And I believe that a friendship is very heavily dependent on respect. Loyalty, yes, but you have to respect that individual because you want that individual in turn to respect you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Never.
I mean, it's amazing when you can see exactly from God's perspective the things that you literally see. One of the things that you can look at and embrace that will help, to have a better relationship with different persons of different denomination is, one, what's our responsibility as human being and what is God's responsibility? God's responsibility is to pass judgment on those who deserves it.
Okay.
Our responsibility is to express the love of Christ, manifesting his life. So therefore, I should not look at you and judge you because that's not my capacity. It is God's capacity. God says whatsoever it is that we do to anyone, whether they are saved or not, whether they are Christian or not, whether they are of my denomination or not, God says you do it to him.
That's right.
Why? Logically, both saved and unsaved, we are all God's children in the context where he creates us.
Yes.
And he gave himself for everybody. And his grace lend us such extent of mercy where even up to our bed, you can cry for mercy and he hears because he already paid the price for past, present, and future sins. So therefore, technically, as the scripture says, we are not condemned as long as you call on his name genuinely from your heart. So the point I'm trying to make is if we understand our capacity as human being and focus on that which we are responsible to do and live out each day, we avoid a lot of unnecessary headache and stress. And the next thing is this Bible speaks of tradition and these denominational, mindsets and these things. And the Bible speaks to the things that it will naturally lead to. Strife, division. It interferes with love, us loving each other.
Yeah.
And also the fact that I am even of the mindset that my denomination is the right one, automatically I judge you without physically judging you. The moment I'm of the stance that my denomination is the right one, I'm automatically judging you.
Yeah.
So I have to now take the stance that no, live the life of love.
That's right.
And with all your heart, genuinely, because none of us fully understand everything about life and even about God. The only thing we can know is that living the life that represents love is the best thing ever.
That's right.
And in Abraham in the word, Abraham did not know God when he was living the good life, I put it. But because he was living that good life, which represents what God stands for, God was attracted to him to the point where he revealed himself to him. It was not because Abraham was serving God knowingly. You follow what I'm trying to say? He was technically an unsaved in our eyes. But the fact that he was living a life that represents good, it automatically attracts God to you. So the point I'm trying to make is once we stick to the life of love, irrespective of the lack of knowledge that we have, I guarantee you that you will attract God to yourself. And he promised to lead us into all truth. And he will not see you allowing yourself to go down into utter darkness and to be destroyed at the end of the day.
Janelle, as we're wrapping up.
Well, my final thoughts on the matter is, the truth of the matter, we don't know who will go to heaven. We can't say only Seventh-day Adventists will go to heaven. We can't say only JWs will go to heaven. We can't say only people from Church of God will go to heaven. We don't know.
That's the point.
And because we don't know, as he said before, we can't judge based on our menial understanding of things.
That's it.
So, because we all, no matter what denomination we're a part of, we all have the genuine love for God and we're all trying to please him.
That's it.
So, if we're going to let our denominations, which truth and in fact might be so small in God's eyes because we don't know, we don't understand totally God and who he is. So if we're going to let something as our denominations separate us from being the social beings that God created us to be, then we're missing out on a lot in life.
Yes.
Because
yes,
the truth
yes,
of the
yes.
matter is that I can learn something from you and you can learn something from me.
That's right.
And we can both grow from our interactions with each other. And you coming from a different denomination doesn't mean that you can't help me to stop lying. It doesn't mean that you can't help me to stop stealing and all these other things. So I believe that we should, as I said before, find the common ground. And as he would have said, understand that this is a love game.
That's right.
It is.
And love transcends everything. That's my final point.
Yeah.
Yep. I could say a lot more, but trust me, it's unbelievable. And the reason why I speak like this is because I was once there, a place of confusion,
Okay.
and searching intensely, trying to understand God and the dynamics of life, and the details. And in a nutshell, I have some supernatural encounters, right? I mean, I'm not sure we have the time to go into all of that.
We do not, because we're wrapping
Right.
up.
So, which overwhelmingly, give me that full understanding as to my responsibility as a human being.
Okay. Well, thank you, Janelle and Danever, for sharing. And as always, for those of you listening, our question today was, how can we have better relationships with individuals from different denominations? Maybe you didn't get the answer, or maybe the answer came not quite as you expected, but it's all about tickling your mind. And in this podcast, it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. This was Making It Last. I'm your host, Noreen Daly. Until next time.
You loving me, I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making